Hi everyone, my name is Brandon and welcome to NewsForTeens. In this video, I'll be giving a presentation on health-related issues in the Asian American and Pacific Islander or AAPI community. Through this presentation, I hope to spread awareness of the disparities in medical research that impact the AAPI community and what we can do about them. This is part of an outreach program I am in called CARE, which stands for Collaborative Approach for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Research and Education. The presentation will be split into 3 parts. First, I'll give an explanation of Alzheimer's disease and other related dementias. Then, I'll talk about the status of dementia research and the research and participation gap for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And then lastly, I'll go over what we can do about these issues and describe what CARE is and our goals. So what is Alzheimer's disease and related dementias and caregiving? Dementia is a general term for decline in mental ability. A common form of dementia is Alzheimer's disease, which is a degenerative brain disease. Caregiving is defined as attending to another individual's health needs. Alzheimer's disease and related dementias are an important area of study because the number of Americans living with ADRD is expected to increase from 5.7 million to 14 million by 2050, which is more than a 100% increase. Additionally, Alzheimer's is the only top 10 cause of death in the US with no known prevention, cure, or treatment. Furthermore, recent estimates indicate that Alzheimer's may rank 3rd as a cause of death for older people. Many people think dementia is just something that develops as you get older, but you actually have a lot of control over whether or not you get dementia. Results suggest that around 40% of dementia is attributable to a combination of the following 12 risk factors: education to a maximum of age 11 to 12 years, midlife hypertension, obesity, hearing loss, alcoholism, traumatic brain injury, late life depression, diabetes, physical inactivity, smoking, air pollution exposure, and social isolation. So living a healthy lifestyle will greatly decrease your chances of getting dementia. And now, some stats on caregivers. In 2019, ADRD caregivers provided an estimated 18.6 billion hours of unpaid care, a contribution to the nation valued at $244 billion. But 41% of caregivers have a household income of less than $51,000. That means that ADRD caregivers are not getting the recognition they deserve. ADRD caregiving is also one of the most common forms of caregiving. 48% of people that provide help to older adults do so for someone with ADRD. In terms of who the caregivers are, 2/3 of them are women, and 1/3 of ADRD caregivers are daughters. Lastly, 60% of caregivers rated their emotional stress of caregiving as high or very high, with greater than 1/3 reporting symptoms of depression. Caregiving plays a huge role in our society, so it's also important to study them and make sure they have the resources they need. Now, some background on the Asian American and Pacific Islander population. AAPI consists of 7% of the nation's population, and Asian Americans are the fastest growing racial group in the US. AAPI are also very diverse. It includes 30 Asian American and 21 Pacific Islander groups, each with their own language and dialects and culture. But although AAPI are diverse, they are often lumped together in research, policy, and practice. One huge issue in the AAPI community is that they are very underrepresented in research. Clinical research projects focusing on AAPI participants funded by the National Institutes of Health between 1992 and 2018 was 0.17%. That's less than 1%. This is concerning because it means that the AAPI are experiencing significant health disparities and underrepresentation. Additionally, it is important to have representation in clinical research because differences in genetics, upbringing, environment, and culture impact the access and treatment a patient receives and how they respond to treatments. Some research suggests that AAPI are interested in being engaged in research, but that various concerns need to be addressed in order to improve research participation. Some concerns include lack of cultural or linguistic information and mistrust. The caregiving community is also different among the AAPI population. AAPI, more than any other racial or ethnic group, believe that caring for parents was expected of them. They're also less likely to put their older family members into a facility. This may influence why 42% of AAPI are caring for an older adult versus just 22% of the general population. The organization I am a part of, called CARE, is trying to address these issues in the AAPI community. CARE stands for Collaborative Approach for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Research and Education. We are partnered with many different community and academic organizations in order to reach as many people in the community as possible. At CARE, we have a focus on family and community and health across the lifespan. This is also inclusive of caregivers 18 and older because caregivers are the people that primarily interact with ADRD patients and also face their own issues. And as I mentioned before, there are many risk factors for dementia that begin earlier in life, so it's important to look at the health of people of all ages and to monitor them as they get older. The purpose of CARE is to create a large registry of AAPI adults who can be contacted about potential research studies to participate in. The health topics will vary and are diverse. Some examples include ADRD aging and caregiving related research, but it can include any health topics across the lifespan for AAPI. This registry would help address the gap and reduce disparities in research participation in health issues among AAPI. As I mentioned before, CARE plans to implement culturally appropriate recruitment strategies with our community partners across California to help get around the various barriers that prevent AAPI participation in research. Our target enrollment is 10,000 AAPI, and we are currently about 75% of the way there. So how can you enroll? Enrolling takes about 10 to 15 minutes and requires you to answer questions about social demographic background, general health questions, and caregiving. If you sign up for CARE, there will be a small token of appreciation for your time and effort. By signing up, you are acknowledging that you are open to being contacted about potential research involving health issues. An important point is that if you are contacted for research, you're not required to participate. It is your choice. In order to enroll in CARE, you need to identify as Asian, Asian American, and/or Pacific Islander. You also need to be 18 or older and be able to read and speak one of the following languages: English, Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese, or Korean. You should also be interested in participating in research. You won't be contacted very frequently to participate, and if you are, as I said before, it is up to you on whether or not you decide to participate. The link to enroll in CARE will be in the video description, but can also be found on their website. We are almost at our goal of 10,000 enrollments in our registry, so it will mean a lot to me and other AAPI like your family and friends if you help us reach that goal and play a part in reducing the disparities in research participation among AAPI. If you have any questions, you can visit our website, email CARE, or drop a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new and enroll in CARE.